shout it out if you wanna see the man. What up? You know about me from Cali to Japan. What up? You know the flow probably worth 100 grand. Okay. You wanna talk, put the money in my hands. Yeah. See, I'm the man. What up? So understand. You wanna talk, put the money in my hands. Yeah. Now from the upper deck to the flow, it's no replay, you get them flesh to the bones. SB checks to the soul, them both things connect like X's and O's. From being checklist to recklessly po, how I go from the jets to the shows, and I'm fresh like I've never been before. I done flow so hot like I slept in my clothes. I'm the man, what up? Understand, what up? You wanna talk, put the money in my hands.
This is hip hop. Welcome everybody around the world who is tuned into us right now. This is hip hop. This is a True Colors Festival event presented by the Nippon Foundation. Thank you so much for coming down. I go by the name of John ZD. I am currently in London, UK, which is where I'm from, born and bred. I am an MC. I have embraced hip hop all of my life pretty much. As soon as I discovered it in East London around about 1982. And right now I program a hip hop theatre festival called Breaking Convention, which is toured around the globe. But we've got a wonderful group of panelists right now. And also joining me is the international sign language interpreter, Cesar Torres. Could you shout out Cesar in the corner right now? Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got a wonderful panel and I would like to introduce them right now. So, as I said, this is global. So, representing Indonesia, could you please all make some noise and tap out your lights on the screen for Psychoji?
What's up? True Colors. This is hip hop. This is Psychoji. Apa kabar semuanya dari Jakarta, Indonesia? I'm a rapper, producer. Sometimes I do film scoring as well. And I've been doing hip hop, rap for 20 years now from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Dope. Next up, with no further ado, could you make some noise for Sparsh Shah, straight out of the USA?
Hey everyone, my name is Sparsh Shah, aka Pure Rhythm. I'm a singer, a songwriter, a rapper, and a budding producer and an inspirational speaker from New Jersey. And I am the creator of a new subgenre of hip-hop called Raga Rap.
Woo! Love that. Love the innovation in that. Thank you so much, Sparsh. Also from the USA, could you please make some noise for Amber Galloway Gallego? Woo!
Hey everybody, what's up? I am also from the US. I'm actually from Texas and I specialize in music interpreting with a focus on hip hop and rap. Glad to be here.
Lovely to see you too. Okay, now all the way from Japan, could you please make some noise for Mana, Nami, and Nasa of Tamura King?
Hi, we are Tamura King. We are hip hop girl representing Japan. So we are born and raised in here, and we are siblings. So this is my sister, and she's a rapper, Namichi, and this is my brother, Nasa, and he is a video director, and I am Mana, and I'm a dancer. Nice to see you.
Lovely. Bringing that family flavor in the building. Love that. Okay, representing Singapore, could you please make some noise for Will Smith?
What do you do? Yo, I go by the name of Will Smith, a rapper, producer. I do theater as well. I play rugby for the national team. So yeah, that's what's up.
Lovely. Okay, and last but not least, could you please make some noise for my man, Luca Lazy Legs Patuelli, representing Canada?
Yo, what's up everyone? I'm so honored to be here. My name is Luca Battuali. I'm also known as Lazy Legs. I'm a b-boy, motivational entertainer, and founder of the Ill Abilities International Dance Crew.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful cast of people that we have here representing hip hop. Let me just set it off straight away, man. I'm going to ask you all the same question pretty much. What does hip hop mean for you? Let's set it off with Psychoji.
That's a good question. For me, in the beginning, it was just me trying to find a way to express myself. But for now, I think it's more than just an expression. It's basically it's kind of like a culture for me. It's not like boxed in a way where you only see hip hop through the eyes of what you see from the industry, but it goes back to your own definition. Like, how can you define it? How can you shape your own narrative of hip hop that fits you wherever you are in the world right now? And that mindset has helped me to innovate myself, to always, learn something new. Because as you see, hip hop itself has changed all out through the years. There's 80s hip hop, there's 90s, the golden age of hip hop. There's hip hop today that sounds, well, it sounds different, but at the same time, if you like, I'm willing to learn how to make music the new way, and just learn new innovations, learn new ways to make music. I think in a way, like even during COVID times, the hip hop mindset helped me to understand more how can I adapt and push more, not just stuck in one position. Like, how can I see hip hop works for me, but how can I use its own energy? You want to innovate and find new ways to create.
Yes, yes. And I guess hip hop is that one culture that comes from nothing. It comes from being in a very oppressive environment and using that sense of oppression to actually release some craft and art and feel valued, I guess. I'd love to ask Sparsh. Sparsh, the same question for you, man. What does hip hop mean for you?
Yeah, I think hip hop means so many things to me. It's part of the soul of who I am. It's my life. And music has always been my life, but actually hip hop has not always been. I mean, when I was little, just with the family values that I was raised in, hip hop was very taboo for me. But then I started realizing that hip hop is not the devil's music if you use it the right way. If it is used for the right way, you can make some lasting positive change in this world. And hip hop has shown that to me. It's been my therapy whenever I'm going through a situation that I can't talk to anyone about. I write it in a rap or a song, and that's how it relates to me. And it's poetry at its finest, and it really expresses the heart of who a person really is, despite their struggles, despite their disadvantages, despite their oppression. It shows them that there is a way to express themselves and make their voices heard. That's what hip hop means to me, making your voice heard.
Excellent. A voice for the voiceless, right? Okay, well, this is the perfect time to then move on to Amber. Amber, tell us what hip hop means for you.
Well, for me, hip hop is all about connection. It's about people coming together and being inspired in life. I've been so inspired by hip hop and the power that it gives to people and the power that it gives voices for people who have struggled, who are now able to express through hip hop. Like you mentioned, that oppression that people go through, they're able to show a slice of their life through their creative efforts in hip hop. And I've been very inspired listening to that music, and it's inspired me to be innovative and creative. So hip hop is a part of my soul. Ever since I was a child, I was very much influenced by old school rap. That was my time, you know, and I really looked up to some of the hip hop artists like Queen Latifah and people like that I really looked up to, really inspired me. And I think, you know, for me, I wanted to become like those hip hop artists. They were role models for me. I admired their power, and I didn't see that type of power in the people that I was growing up around. So that's what hip hop means to me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And
yeah.
and I guess just like Queen Latifah, what she did for you, you're able to do that for many, many people now with the work that you do.
And I want to mention, I think it's important to remember that this is a diverse world that we live in, and access for that reason is so important. Having access to music, it's more than just being about hearing music. Sometimes we get so focused as hearing people, we think about the ear and what the ear, how that contributes to us experiencing music. But music is really an experience that is a soul experience. It's a full body experience, and it doesn't depend on the ears alone.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't wait to hear a little bit of what you do in a little while, actually, or see a little bit of what you do in a little while. I really look forward to that. I just want to pass on to Tamura King, please. Mana, tell us what hip hop means to you, and considering that you work as a family, does hip hop have any reference to your family situation? Did you grow up with hip hop?
Yeah, actually, we are growing up with hip hop. Like my mother was always playing hip hop music, so we are influenced by some other cultures that we never felt before. And also like culture, like hip hop is a culture, and it gives us joy and interest to us, so that we have been expressing ourselves through hip hop, which means we are shaped in an existing culture. Like hip hop is existing, but unlike jazz and classic, the history of hip hop is comparatively new, so that we feel also excited to create a new culture in the future. And also, hip hop is not new, is not old, as I mentioned before. So, and also like hip hop is open media, like we can freely join. So we don't have to acquire any specialized skills or any knowledge, so that hip hop is really good for everyone to feel what is going on around us.
Tell me, the group that you have different skills within it, because usually we understand hip hop as being rap, dance, graffiti, and DJing, but there are more skills within your family. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, in this hip hop crew, I am in charge of dancing, and also I translate Japanese lyrics that my sister creates to English, and so that the lyrics could be more interesting to everyone, not only Japanese but also like foreign people. And my sister decides the concept of
and
the
me,
music.
and I always use Japanese language, so I use Japanese language to make hip hop lyrics. Yes.
Yeah, like usually hip hop is like generally the lyrics of hip hop is in English, but she uses Japanese in Japan. So I think this movement is kind of hip hop as well. And my brother is a video director and also raps in Japanese, I think. And I also write lyrics in English, so that like there are two languages in this crew. So I think this is very interesting point. Yeah.
Definitely. And ultimately, I think one of the beautiful things about hip hop is that we're really good at making connections and pulling together what may be seen as very different and separate ideas, we're very good at making those ideas one. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Last but not least, Luca, what does hip hop mean for you?
Hip hop to me, I think, represents authenticity. It's the one culture that brings people of all ages, all races, all genders, all abilities together in one room, celebrating life's adversity and successes. You know, that's right now. This is hip hop. You know, and what we are all doing, and the fact that being different becomes your strength. You know, in breaking, we have the expression of b-boy or b-girl, which represents a break boy or a break girl. To me, I believe what that actually stands for, like the actual definition is Bronx boy or break boy, but to me what that means is being yourself. And you don't have to just be connected to hip hop music. Like you could like rock and roll, you could like funk, you could like jazz, you could like classical music, and all of that music can be connected to hip hop at the same time. And that's what to me hip hop is, and it's really about strength and diversity.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's great that you brought the point about music, because in the 70s, in which where people say was the birthplace of hip hop, there was actually no hip hop music, but people were listening to funk and were creating new music forms by using the turntables and just using that break to make the beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Will Smith, talk to me, man. How does it feel being a hip hopper?
Energy, bro. Energy, definitely, bro. You know, I kind of have like a sense of purpose, you know, with whatever I'm facing and things like that. So it is something unique about hip hop compared to other genre. That's it's kind of why I'm attracted to it. It's kind of it's edgy, you know, it's raw, it's full of friction, and I feel like I'm one of those. So me being here feels very right. Yeah.
It's interesting that you said about the friction, yeah, and maybe some of the ugly parts of our reality, yeah. Do you think that hip hop is good at reflecting that?
Oh, since the dawn of time, bro. I mean, we got Big Pun talking, you know, about you know what's happening on the street, and then we got Dilated people, you know, educating people, educating about certain issues. So it is really just a lot of information about really aware the awareness in hip hop is a wide spectrum. So you know that's pretty much what it is during those time. Yeah. So I feel like I resonated a lot during that era. Yeah.
Well, good point, because this is going to lead me on to another issue that I'd like us to all comment on. Why do you think hip hop gets such a bad rap if this culture can actually change the world, right? Why does it get such a bad rap? And I'm going to start with you, Will Smith.
I think it's probably MTV. No, I'm just joking. Well,
you ain't joking, man.
well,
There's a lot of truth in that.
well, you know, industry probably, you know, we like to glamorize certain things. We like to add a little bit of whatever it is, but there are certain truth. But apart from all that, it is really just about a lot of emotions going on actually. So if I were, so probably if in my neighborhood we race bicycles a lot, then it probably, my music probably speaks about cranks and shafts and, riding bikes. So it is not about, hip hop is violent, it's probably about how we use hip hop as a medium to reflect our environment. So, it's different now. Rappers nowadays, we don't talk about gang violence. We talk about money because things have changed. So is it really violent now? Is it relevant now that hip hop is violent? Yeah.
Good point. Good point. I mean, we're living arguably in a very violent world right now, and it makes you wonder, where is the hip hop voice in this particular world right now? I'd like to pass it on to Sparsh, actually, because you said something very interesting about do we have to sing the lyrics of the devil, I think that you said. For you, how does hip hop, how do you change hip hop from this negative attitude that people have towards it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first thing we have to do, I feel like first I want to get into the root of the issue. I feel like the reason why hip hop has such a bad rep is because I feel like in the beginning, hip hop was used as a voice to voice our concerns and to voice our struggles about different issues we were going through: street violence, police brutality, poverty, all of these issues. It was our voice to show people, hey, we need, like, nobody's helping us out here. So what choice have you given us? We're raising our voices now. But I feel like the reason why it has such a bad rep is I feel like at some point we somehow moved from voicing these struggles as something that needs to be amended and revised and revolutionized to glorifying them. And the second we went from voicing our concerns about this about the hip hop lifestyle to glorifying that lifestyle, I feel like we put ourselves in the rut of materialism, to be very honest with you. I feel like that's why people, including me, thought that hip hop in the beginning was nothing more than money and sex and drugs and violence, because we only saw hip hop glorifying that. We never saw hip hop voicing that, hey, this needs to stop. And I feel like for me, this is why I chose the name, the stage name Pure Rhythm. I don't know if hopefully you see that. It's on my wheelchair. The name Pure Rhythm is a portmanteau of the words pure and rhythm. So as a rapper, I decided two things. First, that I would not curse. And not just that I would never curse in my lyrics, but also that I wouldn't focus on those things that hip hop culture, I feel like, has glorified, that we actually need to amend and work on. I feel like we need to focus on the fact that music is not just physical. I feel like music is a spiritual gift. And if we could focus and transcend ourselves from that material plane, I feel like hip hop can achieve its full potential of changing the world. And the second thing was just that, I mean, I'm still all about the rhythm, you know? So just because I don't curse, just because I may agree with Will Smith's grandma's advice that intelligent people don't need to curse, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take me seriously. I am here to change this game as it stands. And I will leave my mark on the world, no matter what people think.
I feel you, Sparsh, man. And you are literally doing that as we speak right now. You know what I mean? I'm old school. And I remember a time where hip hop would comment on stuff. For example, broken glass everywhere, people peeing on the corner like they just don't care. And, you know, Melly Mel, he talked about the situation. He didn't glamorize it. So I remember distinctly that time period where we were very empowered by the culture. And I would imagine that Amber would probably know about that time period as well, being that old school Texan right there. Amber, talk to me about the old school days, because there was a time where white people were not doing hip hop so much. What was it like for you back in those early days?
I think that, you know, when it comes to hip hop, as you're talking about, there are a lot of white people that don't like hip hop because they don't want to see or accept the truth. Like you were saying, a lot of that old school hip hop talks about what's happening in the street. And there's a lot of white people that don't want to be involved in that. You know, like now we're seeing a lot more stories of BIPOC, and they're having to listen to those stories that they've been ignoring for a long time. I think that's been an issue, that white people want to paint that picture of, they want to, I don't want to single out, I don't want to say just white people, but the point of what I'm saying is that a lot of us, a lot of humans, do not like to accept the truth about what's happening out there. And hip hop served to bring to light things that we only had knowledge of on the surface. So that story and that experience of oppression, if you have not lived it, if you haven't seen it, then you don't actually know what's happening. And I think that a lot of white people don't understand why they're talking about drugs, why they're talking about shooting each other, why these things are being discussed. Although it's real world, this is what's actually happening out of there in the BIPOC community. So I think that was the start of it. That expression of culture and that expression of their story, that was the start of it, because for many years that culture had experienced so much oppression for generations upon generations, and hip hop finally gave them the opportunity to tell their story, and more people were listening, while a lot of white people did not want to listen. So we have that power now as a community, as humans. We have that ability to recognize the struggle and recognize the oppression that's been happening through the medium of hip hop. So I think it's just become more materialized, like they were just talking about. But some of that power from rappers years ago, back from the 80s and 90s, and even gangster rap, you know, what is considered gangster rap, that music was very powerful when talking about oppression. And people don't realize, because so many people have not experienced, they haven't walked in their shoes, they haven't seen gangs, they have nothing to do with that. And so they think, oh, this is negative. They're talking about gang related stuff. I don't want to hear this. But there are these types of experiences that they're talking about in some way, shape, or form. All humans have experienced something that they can relate to. So just to ignore an entire community, I mean, we can't just do that. We can't just say, oh, this isn't important because this is this gang member's story. I think that's where hip hop can really benefit everyone, because we all have a soul. We're all human, and we can relate in some way, shape, or form.
Thank you so much, Amber. I really, really appreciate that comment. Because, you know, this culture, for me, it is about pulling things together, you know what I mean? The roots of this culture are actually in non-violence. It's actually, you know, conflict resolution. A lot of the roots of this culture is. So we need to start talking about that, because actually in practice, that's what I think we're doing in this culture. I just want to shout out Tamura King real quick. I'd like to ask you a question that relates to this a little bit, but what is your ethnicity? Your parents, where are they from?
My father is from Ghana in Africa, and my mother is from Japan, and we are born and raised in Japan.
Okay, and do you feel as though in any way that hip hop culture, being of mixed parentage, has hip hop helped you to navigate that while in Japan? I guess, has hip hop helped you with your identity, being
Yes, I think so. And as Mana said, we are in Japan. We are kind of special situation because there is no many people like us, and this situation inspired to our creation.
Yeah, like through our creation, I like in our creation, we try to express our own experiences that we had in Japan and the gap and the differences between like Japanese and us. So those like special experiences encourage us to do expression of hip hop.
Nice. Do you mind if you could give me a short example of your rapping, please? I'd love to hear the fusion of languages. Is that possible?
Tamakin,
Yes,
tamakin,
yeah,
tamakin,
and
tamakin,
can.
tamakin,
Yeah.
tamakin, 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 tamakin,
Tamura
tamakin,
King.
tamakin, tamakin.
Tamura King. This is one of the examples like that we do in our creature.
Yeah.
Like Tamura King is actually our crew name,
And Tamura is our family name.
Yeah.
Yeah, King,
Okay.
just a king.
Yes.
But when it comes to in Japanese, Tamura King, then when we speak Tamura King like really quickly, and it goes to be like Tamakin, and it is not the same meaning as Tamura King.
Actually, tamakin means testicles.
Ball.
Yeah,
Tamura King.
Thank you very much.
Hip hop.
yeah. So when we
I'm holding my Tamura King right now.
I like that. I like that reference.
yeah, so when we like say Tamakin in an event or club, and everybody laughs and everybody like feels closer to us because Tamakin like testicle is really like like around us. I don't know, but so it resonates with everyone.
Okay, you
I
guys.
think it resonates with everybody right here as well. Thank you for that. That was dope. Sakoji,
Yes.
how in Singapore do people receive your hip hop? Do you know what I mean? Do people think you're a gangster?
John.
I'm not from Singapore, by the way. I'm from
Yeah, you got
Indonesia.
Oh my
Stop.
goodness!
It's okay,
I'm
bro.
sorry, man.
Will Smith is from Singapore. Anyways,
Sorry.
how I do my music here is that basically just like Tamura King, I also rap in my own language. So when it comes to poetry and rhyme, it's nothing new here. It's just that we have that in our culture since like way back, even before the hip hop music industry has become hip hop as we know it. So when it comes to writing rhymes in my language, it's basically something that we have that cultural side where we write rhymes from my language. But to put it together, like mix it with music with beats, now that's when it was called. That's basically when people recognize it as hip hop. But when I start writing lyrics in my own language, I can tell that it works for me because I don't have to try to be, I don't have to try to write lyrics that is trying to copy whatever the type of storytelling that I hear from American hip hop. I would write songs that relate to Indonesians, like just daily stuff. Like one of my biggest song that penetrate the industry is actually a song about online addiction. It's about like way back in 2008, 2009 when we started, doing chat, Yahoo Messenger chat, and then you pretend you're working in your office, and then you're actually chatting with somebody else, or you get addicted to online games. Back in my days, it was I was playing World of Warcraft lots of times, and it was a problem because that game made me stuck in front of the computer for days. So that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, just trying to relate with the things that happens. And I think like us Indonesians, where English is not like a second language. I mean, a lot of people knows how to understand English, but to really translate American hip hop to Indonesia, if you don't have, you don't know how to speak English, you don't know how to understand English, it takes some time. You need to find out translation and stuff. But when I rap in my own language, that's where I have a bigger audience here.
You've got a big audience right now, so could you give us a little example of your rhymes, please? I'd love that.
In my language.
Yes, please.
All right, this one is called Tetap Hip Hop. Just a little bit. Tetap Hip Hop basically means still hip hop. It goes like this.
Actually, I want both. So if you could do a little in Indonesian and a little bit in English as well, much appreciated.
That's even harder. They call me Psycho G because I'm mentally ill. I got all the skills I need to be rapping this real. I'm a psychopath killer without even having to kill. I eat whack rappers every day like I'm having a meal. Hip hop, ku suka sejak kecil, sejak masih tengil. Anak layangan dekil, syarat lirik menyentil, tapi tetap pakai skill lebih tajam dari pedang, lebih garang dari bedil. Dan aku bangga, bagai pujangga, kejutkan banyak orang dengan gaya tak disangka. Teknik langka, kerja keras hasilkan angka. Isi tabungan makin hari makin bertambah, heyo tambah. Semangat dengan hip hop penuh rima mutakhir dan ekspresiku dengan sikap. Karena bukan cuma buang kata-kata kasar, ilmu yang mendasar, bukan bacot pasar. Karena hip hop, hidupku bisa berubah. Kemana ku pergi kultur ini tak terlupa. Lewat musik, gaya dan langkah kaki. Sampai hari tua nanti tetap dalam hati. Hey.
Yo,
We all get some noise up in this piece.
Bro, Psycho G, if you need.
So Amber, did you sign it?
I mean, yeah, I did what I could. That was amazing.
I gotta say
that was beautiful, Psycho G. Thank you so much for that, man. That was dope. Well, at that point, I would like to say that we will have a dope track that we all worked on together, and we're going to show that at the end of this hour. So anybody that's watching, you make sure you stick around because you're going to see a collaboration between all of us, plus a whole bunch of dancers from Singapore, Indonesia, UK, and Japan. Oh, it's going to be so very, very fresh. Thank you so much for that. Love that. Okay, let's move on. I'd like to ask a question in relation to the potential of hip hop, yeah? And the fact that right now, as a result of COVID, as a result of some of the extreme racism that we're seeing, I mean, there's a lot going on right now. Can hip hop save this world? That's the question. Can hip hop save this world? And if it can, how?
We got Drake.
Yes, Will Smith. Go on, tell us about Drake, man.
Well, I'm not joking about Drake though, because somehow Drake has kind of blanket the whole entire world with whatever he releases, right? So for example, like during my time when I was back in my schooling days, I've hardly talked to this guy because whatever it is. But one time I saw him listening to Drake, and I was like, I wouldn't thought that somebody like him would listen to Drake, So as a fan of somebody who is successful, being Drake, so I kind of approach him, and and we began talking. We began, converse. We began to talk about, hey, actually, I like this. You like that? Yeah, I do. So the tension then has disappeared. So whenever I got into my class, instead of having this very off tension, like you get away from me or something like that, we became friends because he listens to Drake and I listen to Drake, and and it kind of gives us an idea of like we are somewhat similar enough. So yeah, so
Connected.
yeah, it is.
You connected via Drake.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. But it's good though.
This
I
is
mean,
beautiful, man.
it is. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but I think I'm going to listen to Drake now that I've heard this story from you, Will Smith.
Yeah, you could try, yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. So I feel like it kind of saved me from not having a friend to be cut, and then in the end of the day now I have an additional friend, and we share the same common music somewhat, and and now it's all cool. We kind of like, hey, what's up, bro, things like that. So
Lovely.
I guess Drake then,
Drake is the man.
apparently.
And
I'm just picturing
anybody else?
Drake with like
Anybody
a
else?
cape.
Say what?
I'm picturing Drake with a cape and like flying.
Being a superhero.
So on the real, Luca. So for you, how would you say your practice as a hip hopper? How can it change the world?
I find that like with, I guess what I do with dance is I give an opportunity for dancers who are differently abled to experience how to move and feel comfortable within their own body. And with that, they can gain that confidence to live like their daily life. And I think that that's one of the things that in more Can you guys hear me?
Hello? Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah, say that last bit again.
Sorry, my internet's not working, so I just connected with my phone right now. I think that it's one of those things.
Sounds like a sample for a new beat right there.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm back.
Oh, he's making a song. He's making a song straight away.
You got there.
Can everyone hear me okay now?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
you can.
Okay, no, sorry. I think that like hip hop, when I mentioned the idea of authenticity, is that whether you're dancing, whether you're performing it, it's about being yourself. And then once you have that authenticity, you'll have that confidence to be able to just live your day-to-day life. And I think that that's what's important with society today, is that we need individuals to have that confidence within themselves to be able to pursue whatever it is that they're trying to pursue.
And hip hop gives us that when we practice the art form and when we share what we do with other people, right?
Absolutely. I mean, hip hop is that one thing that really does connect everyone. And when we were talking earlier about like the violence, like I don't think hip hop is violent at all. I think that what people are singing about is the violence that they're living in. And hip hop is all about peace, love, unity, and having fun. In breaking, for example, if you ever to go to a breaking practice, Like, it's not about taking a dance class where a teacher teaches you moves. It's like you're going to go and learn some moves, and you're going to be in a room surrounded with people of all different skill levels. And if there's a dancer that knows the move that you're trying to learn, they're going to come up to you and they're going to give you little pointers and tips and be like, hey, try the move this way. And the idea is that we're all trying to help each other to elevate to that next level. And obviously there's egos involved and there's battles and all that type of stuff that gets, but at the end of the day, everyone wants to just see each other succeed. And that's, I think, the beauty about hip hop. You know, it's really about sharing. Like, what we're doing right now is sharing. Saikoji, Amber, the fact that you guys are just like singing right now and sharing what you love in front of all of us. This is what hip hop is all about. And it's what we're doing right now is we inspire each other, and we're like, okay, how can we use that within our own art and within our own craft?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I'm just really honored to just say that I've worked with Luca a few times, actually. And Luca toured with Ill Abilities, his crew, all over Europe. And yeah, it's just such a pleasure to work with you guys. And you were so inspirational for everybody. After your show, people were just crying and stuff. It was powerful, powerful work, man. Thank you for that. Sparsh, tell me, how can hip hop change the world?
Yeah, I think hip hop can change the world because it can change the world by inspiring people who have not. I think it really, what it does is hip hop gives a voice to people who are too scared to raise their voice in any other way. I think music is very liberating in that it gives us freedom to express opinions, concerns, views, stories. When we cannot say them alone, it's like the music speaks for us. And let's say, even if you're very nervous and you go on stage, as soon as the beat hits, you realize, okay, I have to start rapping now. And that's when the voice comes out. And it's like,
there's a beat, man. There's a beat. I heard a beat. Sparsh, this is your time, man. Let's hear an example of your ragga rap.
All right, cool. This is a part of a song that I'm working on, my most lyrically complex one, and it's called This Is Me, subtitled The Rap Prince. Quick background on that, I got the idea of the subtitle from this meme that said Tupac was the rap king, Eminem was the rap god. And so I said, if Eminem's the rap god and Tupac's the rap king, what if I'm next in line? So the whole thing is based on that premise. The whole song is based on that. So here it is. I am through all the struggle, cleared my dams from all the rubble, rose up from the wounds that I took, peace got so much boom, you'll be shook, move around faster than a castling rook, shining God's light through each cranny nook, read that book, cause I'm writing my pages, beats getting harder as I'm fighting these stages, moving the tears like they were moved by the ghost, stories written by the most throughout the world and the coast to coast, never boast, though, never go slow, yo, I may be learning now, yet I'm great, but I'm burning a friend, got a lactic acid state, not what your times, but fires themselves, and call me my own path, and that I will sell. Rap on like water, my fire gets hotter, records it's got harder, raise you no butter, clean up, kickstarter, the rock, rap powder, rap poetry, daughter, music is my fighter, cause this is only inception, hip-hop's winning succession, I'm here to help reclaim a lost kingdom, faded in regression, so he arrives the next heir, to separate the wheat from the tare, I'ma stay bold and I won't be scared, but even at my height, I'll remember in my prayers, ye are gods, but ye shall die like men. And though I'm not a king, my voice will still ring, a prince with the power of pen. So when the pages of history written, I will go forth and down, take my wheels in the ground, so not even words will have smitten. Pure rhythm.
Woo!
Woo! Yo, that was fresh.
I can
Sparks,
tell.
you
I can
are
tell.
epic, dude.
Yeah, excellent singing, bro. Because like even without music, I can tell that you hit the notes perfectly. I mean, like no music there. You just
Okay.
go off,
Okay, Splash.
and like that was very good. That was very good.
So here's
I
the thing.
appreciate that.
So here's the thing. We're gonna put auto tune on it. 808 basis.
No, no auto
Hi-hat.
tune needed for that one. I guess.
That
Yeah.
auto tune would destroy that, man.
No,
That was
dude.
just beautiful work.
Young kids love auto tunes, bro. It's like candy right now.
We're gonna get Drake to be featured in with you.
Yeah. That would be pretty dope. That would be dope.
Yo, check it, man. I've just seen the time. We've got like 10 minutes to go. I just want to say to all of the people out there watching, you're very welcome to send some questions in and stuff. For the last part of this, we're going to just have some questions from the world. So we would love that, man. So anybody who's watching, please send your questions now. Hopefully, we'll have time to answer one or two, yeah? Tamaro King, the balls. Could you tell us how hip hop is gonna change the world?
I think maybe it's a smile, maybe. Hip hop is not only the violence and the sex and drugs. And for example, I think I saw your guys' biggest smile today when you guys heard the testicle from us. This
Yeah, this is
You're right.
all like part of like saving the world. But when we continue like doing hip hop, then we can save the world like entirely in the future, like in the long term.
is the way.
Like yeah,
Definitely.
doing our expression in our own way.
Absolutely. Psychoji,
Yes,
how are you gonna change the world? How are you gonna change it?
I agree with friends from Japan. Like when you make people smile with your music, that would be a step toward changing the world. Now, what I've been doing in my own music, like these days, oh no, actually several years ago, I made a song with my son. So my son had an interest in rap as well, but at the moment he's not focusing on that. But several years ago he was into it. So we made this project where we make our daily activities from morning, noon when he comes back from home, even until the evening, where we make our dialogues in rhymes. So he raps with me. It's a dad thing. You can look it up on YouTube. So basically, I just want to show the other side of hip hop where I can tell, a daily activity story for like what me and my son did. Waking up, he's getting ready to school. I ask him about his homework. Coming back from school, I ask him what happened in school. In the evening, he's on his computer and I ask him, "What are you playing?" He's playing Minecraft, and it gets a lot of views from Indonesian. They felt the warmth of a father talking to his son. I think
Yes.
each and every one of us needs to find our own way to make people smile. Now, the way I see it is that whatever stereotype or whatever mindset that the people has, that hip hop gets a bad rap. I mean, you always have an option to create something different. If you
Yes.
would like,
Yes.
to look inside yourself, like who you are. Like I'm getting older. I got 3 kids already. I am not a gangbanger. I'm not a part of any gang, but I am a father. That's definitely my actual daily life. So that's what I want to express through my music. And believe me, like being a father, being a husband, you know, getting to 40 in a couple of years, like there's so many things to tell. There are so many things to tell, and you can tell that in rhyme. Imagine those who like hip hop when you were younger, you know, teens, 18, 20. Those who grew up with me along this 20 years of journey, they're also older now. They got kids.
That's right.
You
That's
can't,
right.
I mean, you wouldn't just listening to like party music all the time. I mean, like you can enjoy party music. I mean, you probably have a uh, 5 days a week, 9 to 5 job. So you just want to chill with some good music. But at the same time, people are looking for music that can relate with their daily life. If we are
Yes.
there to provide this type of music, I think this
Yes.
is the opportunity that we can change the world. We can show them a different side of
Definitely.
hip hop.
Absolutely, and I love what you're saying in relation to the family aspects of this, because that's the realest thing there is. You know what I mean? Like, you know, most of us are born into families, and even if you haven't born into a family, and if you're born into a home, do you know what I mean? I'll never forget KRS-One and Scott La Rock. You know, they met in a children's home. You know what I mean? Listen, we're nearly done, but I just want to say that we have had a request, yeah? And the request is from the audience that they want to hear Will Smith spitting.
Speak
Simple
away.
as that. Will Smith, can you bust some rhymes for us, please?
Yo, I know we're not the same. Somebody better tell me why. I really need my answers or somebody gonna die. I'm angered by the question and I really need to know. I'm ready coming heavy and I'm pull up from the low. I got lazy legs, they don't stand for shit. Fingers so dead to me, hard to grip. Body fragile and my chest too weak. Always be starved and I'm losing my wheels.
Woo!
Ooh.
On the wheel, on the wheel. I can't wait to hear your stuff, man. Okay, okay, so before we end, I just want to let everybody know that I want to hear all of your stuff. Please send me links to your work. I'd really, really appreciate that. One quick thing, Amber, I'd like to know from you that you're working with young people, yeah? How do you think that your work changes their lives?
Well, I think that when we work with people and we educate people about the community, you know, there's a community that I work with, this huge community that does not have access regularly to music and communication. So they are on a daily basis fighting for their basic rights to communication. So what I'd like to say, I'd like to put out this call to all artists on this call and everywhere, that if you could be proactive and involved with this community and make your music accessible, it would mean so much. Because once you, the artist, provides access, you're not only delivering that to this group of people, you're also sending a message to your fans, and you inspire others to provide communication access. And the more and more that we do that and we're part of the solution and part of communication access, the more it will happen. And we're really elevating each other in that process. So that means that, you know, if we think about it, it's not just about deaf and hard of hearing people. We also have deaf blind people, we have blind individuals, people with multiple different types of disabilities. And if we make sure that we're providing access to all of those groups and we are inclusive, it's just amazing what can happen. That's so important, especially if you remember, like, you know, we have minorities, we've been talking about oppression today. So consider that you have people in those minority groups who, on top of being a racial minority, also are deaf or blind or have other disabilities, think about how much oppression they're going through and how many barriers they have, so many struggles that they have. So the concept is that if we open this world up to them, and if you artists are willing to represent them and willing to represent that you do provide communication access, getting that message out to other humans and bringing in these people who have been oppressed, it's just really amazing, and it's so impactful and so empowering. So I think that is how we can get involved in the hip hop world. We can truly be the change that we want to see in the world. We can truly, truly do that. And remember that providing access in your own countries, providing opportunities for those who have been oppressed, every day, again, like I said, every day, the community that I serve is fighting for their basic right to communication, a basic human right. So let's provide, let's bring in good, skilled, talented people. There are deaf and hard of hearing rappers out there. There are deaf and hard of hearing hip hop artists that will never have that chance or have never had that chance to get on stage. They're fighting for that chance. So let's work together in collaboration to lift these people up and provide those opportunities.
May I say something to that?
Please, please.
I'm so down. I'm so down to do that. And to be honest with you, I just started thinking, you know, if I want my album to, if I want this new album that I'm working on, I don't think I've said this, but my dream is I want to put out my debut original album before I turn 18. And now I'm thinking that if I want this to be heard by everyone and experienced by everyone, then I want to do whatever it takes to make sure that these people can hear what I have to say. So I think this has just inspired me. I might start learning sign language sometime soon. I want to learn sign language so that I can communicate with other people who cannot hear my voice, but they will hear my message.
Love that.
Yes,
Love
yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about, Sparsh. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is
Listen,
each one teach one.
Each one teach one on the real, man. Listen, guys, this has been excellent, guys. I'm actually sad that we have to end it. I feel like we should go on for another hour or so, man, because there's so much that we haven't said. You know what I mean? Yeah. But this is hip hop, brought to you by the True Colors Festival and supported by the Nippon Foundation. I just want to say thank you all for your work. It's been amazing. I really feel like I've got to know you a little bit more, you know what I mean? Can everybody just say one last thing? Just a real brief thing, just to say peace out to your people or whatever before we get into the video? Go on, Psycho G, you start.
Okay, for everybody who's in Indonesia, semua orang yang ada di Indonesia, Jakarta dan sekitarnya, thank you udah nonton. Jangan lupa support terus dan follow True Colors di Instagram. I just want to say something else for everybody here too. If we can just stay connected after this, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
I totally agree.
Boom. Anybody else?
Sure thing. Hey everybody. I really, really hope that you liked this panel, that you really loved it, that it was very insightful and informative. And I also believe that it was really inspiring for me too. And I think I just want you all to know, wherever you are, whoever you are in this world, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Please don't ever, ever, ever give up, no matter what you're going through. And trust me, music can give you wings to fly. Just give it a chance to speak for you.
Yes, and I think I also have something to say. You know, if Drake could made it, then I guess everybody else can too.
Good point.
No, but in all seriousness, apart from giving accessibility and things like that, I think it's also important for us to go out there and set some proven facts out there. You know, so if you're doing something and you're representing your community, make sure you rep that well, right? So if you got yourself into like for example, for me in 2019, I performed in National Day Parade, right? And I was the first disabled artist who was in the main segment. It wasn't like a side segment of whatever it is. So I feel like I probably have given somebody a factual hope that, hey, if Will Smith can be out there, then it makes sense too, because, you know, we're kind of the same. So give them a lot of, you know, relevance, right? I mean, to me, like, this is my last word. If it don't make sense if somebody who's on a wheelchair community and then, you know, they say like they want to dance like Michael Jackson. Not gonna happen, right? But if you're on a wheelchair and then you see Will Smith doing things, Will Smith doing that, then it kind of, you know, it makes it a lot more possible. So, you know, if you're from that community or you're from whatever, you know, you gotta wrap yourself, you know, make sure that your community hears you and they are aware that you are doing it. So in the next future, you know, hopefully the next day, the next year, somebody will, you know, carry on. Like that's the whole thing.
Thank you, Will Smith. Thank you. Next.
I would just like to say thank you to every single one of you for sharing. And I definitely agree, Saikoji, we definitely need to stay connected after this. Donzi, we're going to do a breaking convention, Illability style with everyone.
Yes.
But, you know, if there's anything that I could just leave everyone off, pour les personnes à Montréal, en France, merci beaucoup, grazie mille in Italia. And I just want to say, hip hop is all about being yourself. It's about staying true. So Will Smith, you mentioned about doing a moonwalk, a person on a wheelchair not being like Michael Jackson, and that's true. But you can be inspired by that move and create your own version of the moonwalk. You know what I mean? And that's what hip hop is all about. It's about inspiring yourself from something that you see on the outside, but staying true to who you are throughout the whole process. And so anyone that is whatever art form you're practicing right now, just make sure that you stay true to who you are and enjoy the moment. And yeah, continue to live your life. And we look forward to continuing to perform and share our passion with all of you. So thank you again.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Tamura King.
Yeah. Thank you. For today is very helpful for me to make the hip hop and doing Japanese lyrics. So to very helpful for me. Thanks.
Yeah, through this discussion, we're gonna express and we're gonna like share our experiences from today. And personally, I was inspired to learn hand signs because I always dance and I always like tatting. So if I learn hand signs and like include the skills in my dancing, then my dancing is gonna be more meaningful. So there are a lot of inspirations from this discussion. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Important thing from me is sorry for interrupting.
No, go for it, man.
Everything can connect with the hip hop. For example, I really surprised the Amber's sign languages can connect to the hip hop, and also I'm connecting my film works to the hip hop and dancing, and yeah, everything in the world can connect the hip hop to make the new thing. But this is important for me. And also, don't forget the smile. The technical. If you want to smile, you can search the Tamura King on the YouTube to see the music video.
Yeah,
so thank you for inviting us.
Tamakin can change the world.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Arigato.
Arigato. Thank you so much, guys. Last but not least, Amber.
Yes. I feel like it's very important not to allow anyone to limit you.
You are all important. You all have something to offer. Never allow anyone to limit what you can do. And I know that a lot of my deaf and hard of hearing friends, and myself included, as a person with hearing loss and who's hard of hearing, I know sometimes people say that you can't do this and you can't do that. People say, oh, you know, this is not for you. You can't. No, we have to change that. And so here's a sign for can't, and I'm showing you how you can show yes. Can't? No, let's move the finger away and show we can. Because oftentimes, there's a lot of discrimination, there's a lot of limits out there, and we just can't allow that to happen. We truly can break through and just keep up with what we do, and that's just the most important thing. I've realized that through all the struggles and frustrations in my own life, and most importantly, you know, as humanity, all the struggles that we go through, the most important thing is perseverance. We all have different perspectives and different experiences to bring to the table. And we have to remember that over everything, the most important word is love. Like Bob Marley says, you can see I have it on here. I have this word, love, that I wear all the time. I mean, that's what makes the world go round. And through loss, through frustrations, you know, I've had, the message that shines through is love. And so I want to share that with all of you today. We all have the shared love of hip hop, of music, of people, expressing ourselves, and all of our shared experiences and shared stories bring us together and have brought us together today. So thank you for inspiring me today. Thank you for sharing your talent. I want to just express that I'm very thankful to be part of this panel and part of this community. So my last message is just to take away that when anyone says that you can't, remember that you can.
Nice.
No excuses, no
Peace and love, everybody. Can we all throw up our peace and love signs right now? Thank you, guys. This is the last of it, man. Much love to you all. We got to call it a day. This is Hip Hop, brought to you by the True Colors Festival and supported by the Nippon Foundation. We are out right about now, and we're going to show you our last video. Check this out. This is a premiere for us all. None of us have seen it before, but it's very, very exciting. I just want to shout out all of the organizers of this, Ramesh, you know, everybody at the Nippon Foundation. Thank you so much. True Colors Festival. We love you all. Peace and love, everyone. See ya.
This is Be true to your heart, find your true colors. How you wanna be treated, do that to others. Shinoko Korono Hansha, mungkin ada yang diganti. This is hip hop, reality dari apa yang di hati. Perlu mata yang terbuka tuh melihat semua, dari sensasi pertama berlanjut ke yang kedua. Anata no bijon ni jujitsu ni. Man, I persevere every day untuk sampai di sini. Hey. This is
First off, hip-hop is not the devil's music. It has power to empower all who use it, and I can prove it. Only cause I wasn't afraid to lay lyric to beat. The world knows a person like me in our current century. Hip-hop's our passion, uniting our different factions, inspiring us to action, spreading love without redaction. Hip-hop has changed the world, and it still can, you'll see. Cause every time we take the stage, we're rewriting history. Yo, rhythm!
This is hip-hop. Culture, artistry, family.
This is hip hop, the modus operandi. Let the street talk, every area tells a story. I'ma represent the broken and the damned. Started from the gutter, we a different kind of man. This is hip hop, the birth for the people, the power of the pain, the heart, the struggle, moving silence, no sirens. Running with the passion of violence.
Hip-hop is filled with skill and agility, but we're still getting grilled politically. My soliloquies and ill ability, literally spreading more peace than the military. This is
頭の先から尻尾まで金魚振動ヒップホップ振動いった軽く吹き飛ばす魅了思考そして悔いも立つ語れないよ甘いからなるだらけただ語りはばかるならかわす
Show me how you color we decide your choice
そう多様性の先向かおうぜ
This is hip hop, culture, artistry, family.